Imagine embarking on an unforgettable journey through the heart of Italy, where every turn is a new treasure and every moment is filled with beauty and culture. You start your adventure in Rome, the eternal city. Next, you venture into the rolling hills of Tuscany, where the air is perfumed with the scent of vineyards and olive grove. The journey continues to Venice, the floating city of canals and gondolas, after Five Earth and Milan. But your Italian adventure doesn't end on land. It's about to get even more extraordinary. A magical journey through Italy, topped off with a house music festival on Costa Cruise. Dance under the stars, relax in style, and discover exclusive performances on deck, all while sailing to some of the most beautiful destinations. There are 3 packages to choose from. Sailing dates are from September 24th through the 28th, 2025. Book yours now at festivaloncruise.com.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Heidi's house. This is your host, Green Bee Heidi B. And today's featured guest is an artist, singer-songwriter, Sande. I'm so excited to hear more about her house music journey. So are you ready? Then let's go. So here she is. Sandy is in the house.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome. I'm so
Thank
happy to
you.
have you as our featured guest today. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing well and hope you are too.
Yes. Especially now when I have a chance to chat with you about, your house music journey and share some experiences. So I'm really much looking forward to that. So, Sandy, you know that the Heidi's House podcast is very kind of like a snapshot kind of podcast. It gives a little brief introduction to our featured guests. We have house music artists, singers, songwriters, producers, DJs, radio personalities, event organizers, all kind of influencers around the globe to share a little bit about their house music journey. So I'm gonna always ask a little set of some basic questions every time from our featured guest. We might sometimes elaborate a little bit, but then in the end, we are gonna also finish by having a mini mix where we hear some of your tracks.
Wonderful.
So
Okay.
that's the template here, what we use, and therefore, since it is such a brief kind of podcast interview, I'm just gonna go and hit you with the first question if you
Oh,
okay with that.
okay.
And that is, tell us a bit about who is Sandy.
Well, who is Sandy? Well, I am first and foremost, I'm a other outside of being a singer, I am a wife, mother. I've been born and raised in Maryland. I live in Baltimore and I've lived in Maryland all my life. Um, I I guess I started a love of singing back when I was young, um, but didn't get into it seriously until, much later in life. Um, I'm also a dancer, and I just love the arts. So this has been a nice journey for me so far.
Wonderful. Well, I know already quite a bit about that journey, and I wish to share some of the highlights of that journey with our audience as well. And as you said, you are also a mom and a wife. The family is very important to you, along
Yes.
with that music journey that has been with you for all of these years. What I'm hearing and seeing. That's just simply beautiful thing, and I believe that gives you that beautiful source also for your songwriting and your performances and everything. You know, nice supporting, balancing thing there. What I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what got you to house music originally?
Well, getting into house music, I guess probably it was after my youngest child was around 2. I met up with DJ OG, and he was also working with the Baltimore Soul Tree, and they asked me to work on this song called "We Are the Party People," and that's how I really got into doing house music. I've always loved house dance music, disco. I'm from back in the day. I love disco. So it was, I guess, just easy to get into the house music genre.
True. There's so much, you know. It's just like the basically house music is just step further from the disco music, the historical involvement and everything. So it totally makes sense. So that was your start in the house music, but let's elaborate a little bit now, since you are a vocalist. When did you notice that you have a talent for singing? Since you said that you kind of started your career a bit later.
Well, like I said, I loved music all my life. And I guess as a young child, I used to sing around the house, as so many of us have. But I used to sing on the youth choir at my church, for many years. And I didn't begin to really seriously think about singing professionally until I was out of college. And I actually ended up joining a musical theater group here in Baltimore. It was called the Baltimore Care Connection. And we did a musical on AIDS education that toured Maryland and various other states.
Wow.
And that was my first exposure to singing in front of like a live audience outside of singing at church. And that's where I met who would be my future husband. We were romantic leads in this musical. And he had was definitely into music. And so I began singing with a group that he was affiliated with. And it kind of just branched off into that. So I guess hopefully that answered the question.
Yes, that's such a beautiful answer. And it truly now, I think I kind of was, hitting the right spot there when we talked about the music and the family connection both there.
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful thing. Well, and I love the fact that you come from that, also the background of singing in a church and having the choir, everything. Obviously, it shows in your singing as well, because you get to, you need to be able to work as a part of the bigger instrument, so to say, and not only focus on your personal skills, but really see the wider perspective there, and anyone who's been singing in choirs or in singing on vocal ensembles or so forth, bands too, obviously know that it is a huge amount of group work, not only being a soloist, and how it develops the ear, the harmonies, the rhythmical parts, everything. So that's a beautiful background for you also, and it truly shows in your vocal performances and your works. So it's very, very, very audible. Let's put it like that. So, now about the vocals, I'm gonna ask, who are the vocalists that have inspired you the most?
Oh my gosh.
I know it's
well, there are a lot, but I'd say probably growing up and, as I began to I won't say sing in the shower more, but always singing. But Whitney Houston,
Mm.
Donna Summer,
Oh
big
yes,
influences.
it's
Aretha
so
Franklin, Diana Ross, Shaka Khan. I mean, anybody that just sang and could keep you captivated, I was drawn to.
yeah. You just named basically my top singers, female
Yeah.
singers there. Yes.
I mean, between
Amazing.
them, they had it all. They
Yeah,
really
they
did.
had it all. They had it all. And it is just for the audience who probably those names are such a huge names in music, but in case if some of the audience members wouldn't know or not be so familiar with those artists' musics, please go and check their music out. Amazing influences for any vocalist, anytime, any place. Um, Now, talking about house music, what would you say, Sandy? What are the house music artists that have inspired you a lot?
Ooh, house music artist. Oh my gosh.
I know.
It,
That kind of
it's
question is quite
it's
tricky.
yeah, it's hard to nail it down. I won't say specifically, but you know, again, going back to like my disco roots,
Mhm.
Donna Summer, I know Barbara Tucker doesn't go back that far, but I
Mhm.
love her stuff.
Mhm.
Cece Peniston,
Oh, yes.
has been out there. Oh my gosh, just trying to think off the top of my head, but um, Ten City, that was a
Yeah.
group.
Yes.
Um, just so many.
There are so many. There are so
Yeah.
many. And obviously, house music been around more than 40 years, so it
Mm-hmm.
entails such a great group of artists and groups. I love the fact that you mentioned Ten City also. So those kind of influences that you mentioned. Again, for our audience, if you don't know some of those names, please check them out. And now I'm always asking also that is there a particular house music track that you would feel that you always go to, like some kind of theme song or a track that you never get tired to hear when it comes to the house music, or somehow lifts you up or
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Um, this one, it's by I think Louis Vega did this one. Um, in or deep down inside or deep
Mhm.
inside,
Yeah.
and I think that just embodies the whole house music feel and culture because
Mhm.
it's just something that you feel
Yeah.
down to the beats in the arrangements. I mean, when you're out there dancing or in your car or wherever just singing and hearing the music, you can just feel it all over from
Yeah.
inside and out. So
You feel
that's
it.
I'd say probably a favorite of mine. And also which is more disco-y, um uh You Make Me Feel by Sylvester.
Oh yes.
That one is so old, but I tell
Mm.
you, if it came on, if I was in the grocery store or somewhere, you'd see me start moving the shoulders or
Yeah, you would
something,
be.
I'd have to start dancing. So
Yeah.
those are two big favorites of mine.
Yeah. Now about the dancing, since you mentioned that you've been also a dancer, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I did go to college in Pittsburgh. I graduated with a BS in dance, and
Oh,
I had
congratulations.
thoughts of going into it professionally, but things took a turn when I came home and ended up joining the musical theater group.
Mhm.
Um, and I did some choreography for that. But right now, I'm basically in charge of my liturgical dance ministry at my church. So I do all the
Wow.
choreography for that. So that's where I am dancing these days.
Yeah, wonderful. And that beautifully comes up with everything else. Like now it makes even more sense why musical theater and everything, because you can combine beautifully the dance and music and
Mm-hmm.
the expression acting, everything there and so on. And I'm very glad that you're actually doing the choreography still, like you mentioned. So people, if you have a chance to go to see, go to that. Can you repeat the place where you do the choreographies again?
Oh, the our church is Hall United Methodist Church, located in Glen Burnie, Maryland. So if anybody's in the area, feel free to come out and see us on Sunday mornings. And hopefully you'll get to see our liturgical ministry in motion.
Wonderful. So if you happen to be around, check that out. Check that out. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So then let's go to your own music.
Yes.
I know again we are very short kind of short snapshot kind of podcast, and if we really took a deeper dive into your music and Carrie, we would probably need 3 or 4 episodes more here. But I'm gonna now pose a question and ask you if you think one of your own tracks that you have released, is there some particular track that is somehow more special to you, and maybe why?
um, I guess I would have to say of my most recent ones, it would have to be my second solo venture after I returned to doing music, and that would be very special.
Yeah,
And it just allowed me to just be a little more deep, I guess.
yeah,
I don't really know how to explain it, but it just really, really touched my heart with that one because I was, like I said, that was my second release after being away from the industry for a while, and I really was starting to, I think, meld with the music and just really, really, really enjoying being back.
yeah.
Um, it was a close between that one and Get on the Dance Floor. That one was just so much fun to do. That was the first one that I did coming back, and we actually did a music video to that one. So
Oh,
that was the first music video I'd done. So it was really, really nice to collaborate with my husband, aka Biblical Jones.
yeah.
Yeah,
How about Typical
so
Joe?
he's been instrumental, throughout my whole career, writing the music, a lot of times, lyrics and so forth. So it has been wonderful working with him.
I can imagine, and he's been a great supporter of many, many, many artists, including
Hmm.
myself.
Yes,
And that's just, beautiful thing to do, because we do need that support, and we do, it truly does help and gets us more recognized, and hopefully gets people to also to buy the music, hear
right.
it, showcase them, and do the things, that support us to keep going. But I mean, I'm seeing him obviously in his own career doing great, great, great things,
Hmm.
and like I mentioned, supporting various artists. And by the way, I have to mention, I'm gonna try to snatch him to have an interview with me here too, if it's okay.
Of course.
So we'll hear his side of this beautiful story that you described here earlier as well. It's such a beautiful thing, but it's a nice, support, the background there, to have a support when you are together with the another artist, and you can reflect and grow together in that sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful thing. So, another thing I have to mention, I do feel um, somehow, funnily, a similar background. So you mentioned already earlier here in this interview that you kind of had the pre having kids career part, and then after having kids career part. And I actually shared the similar thing. Was about I think 7 years off because of the family reasons, and I do remember the joy when you get back to that, and you have been like, obviously you have so much ideas, energy, things like this, and it's not always the easiest way,
Right.
to come back, having such a long pause. So I was totally feeling you there when you said that those two tracks are very special to you, and they locate to that part of your career when it's kind of like about your comeback and getting back to the music making.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel you there. We working moms, music working moms, and
Oh, absolutely.
people doing a lot of things going on. So I feel you there, and I'm happy for you, obviously.
Thank you.
So we talked about the special tracks, but Sandy, what would you say? What are the highlights of your career so far? If you think retrospectively, all the career from the beginning till today, what are the things that for you seem to stand out most?
I would say just having the opportunity to work with a lot of great people over the years, starting, I mentioned, my first single, We Are the Party People, that was released on Poggi Records with Baltimore Soul Tree, and then was remixed later and released on Quantize Records. So I've worked with, like I said, DJ OG, Brian Pope, DJ Spin, DJ Charisma, Teddy Douglas, over the years, on earlier selections. So it has been an absolute, joy to have been able to do that. And then moving forward into the present, being able to collaborate with Biblical Jones, and being brought into the Brooklyn Beatdown Music family with DJ Renee.
Shout out to DJ Renee.
Yes, definite.
She's
She
amazing.
has been so awesome, because she allows, us to basically, I don't want to say do what we want, but, luckily she's liked everything that we've done. So, she gives us, the ability to, or the leeway to do our creativity, and she's been very supportive of it, in the time that I've been able to work with her. So I'd say that guess sums it up for me.
Yeah, that's an amazing journey that you have been doing so far, and I look forward to see you having many more highlights in your career. And again, like you said, the Brooklyn Beatdown and DJ Renee, amazing label, and
Yes.
she just absolutely is a beautiful spirit, beautiful soul, beautiful person. And I'm not surprised that she gives you guys artistic freedom, because
yes.
I think it's the best way to let that creativity flourish, and to be innovative, and so on. And as a running my own label, I also believe in doing that. I mean, if it's completely something different, that it's I just don't feel that it would vibe with
Right.
the label ethos, then I would probably say something. But so far, all of my artists, because when we work well, and we know the artists that we have in our roster, usually, it is a very good how do you say, predictor for having a beautiful releases and outcomes. So I think just kind of leave things like 95% of the time to their hands, and trust things in their hands, and they're gonna do a beautiful job. And I think we
Yeah.
are happy too. So I'm hearing the same happening with you guys, and I'm
Oh, yes.
happy to hear that. Yeah. Well, now it's almost the end of our interview, but I'm gonna ask two more questions.
Okay.
Sandy, could you share us a little bit about your current projects?
Well, my most recent project is called Right Here, Right Now, which again was released on Brooklyn Beatdown Music, and another collaboration with Biblical Jones. And I'm probably going to be working on something in the next few months, looking for, new projects. So going through some music and so forth. So probably come November, December, I should be releasing something else. So I just thank everybody for their support. Thank you for your support, over these last few years, and definitely looking forward to putting out something new before the end of the year.
Yes, so we'll stay tuned, and we're gonna also recommend in this podcast everybody, if you haven't heard the releases mentioned here before, then please check them out and get your legal copy, of course. And I'm gonna include some of those tracks also to my mini mix that is gonna follow after our interviewing part. Now, the last question, but definitely not the least. If somebody wants to know more and follow you in social media, where can they find you?
Well, the best place to reach me is on Facebook, and I'm under my regular name. It's Sandra Pulley Hamlet. But reach out to me on Facebook, and I'd love to speak to you, see you, and so forth.
Wonderful. So, people, check her out and support her music. And again, I'm so glad and grateful that you were able to join us here today on the in the or at the Heidi's House podcast. And again, sending you and your beautiful family lots of love straight from Helsinki,
Oh,
Finland.
thank
Woohoo!
you. Thank you so much for inviting me for this podcast. I really enjoyed it. And it was so nice to have some time to just speak with you. So I thank you very much for this opportunity.
Likewise. And now I think we will continue to the mini mix.
All
Bye
right. Bye
bye.
bye.